Welcome to another episode of the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. Today's guest brings cinematic storytelling, classical elegance, and symphonic power into one breathtaking experience. Representing the rising force, Aria Blake. We're joined by the incredible Tanya, with members spanning France, Canada, and Germany. Aria Blake is crafting a sound that blends orchestral grandeur with metal intensity, from their haunting duet As Night Descends to the powerful Stabat Mater Dolorosa and their EP release, which came out digitally in 2025. It is now out on CD as of a few weeks ago. They are already making waves. Welcome, Tanya, to the Metal Queens podcast.
Hello, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you, Tanya, joining us from Germany. You know, Aria Blake feels like stepping into a movie rather than just listening to a band. When you first joined and helped shape this project, what scene from a film did you imagine opening with?
Actually, that's a great question. It was exactly the song for our first official video, Stabat Mater Dolorosa. It was the first song that I received as a demo, actually. Exactly. And it was clear as daylight. This scene, the prayer. Exactly. Yeah, I was at the time I was listening to the track. I was at a gym actually, working out on my treadmill, and then I was listening to the song, and it blew me away. And I saw Eric, our band leader and the drummer. He explained the backstory of the album and for the track to me, and I could visualize it very perfectly. Yeah.
How did you meet these guys? I mean, I know they're based in France. You're in Germany. You were born in Russia. You grew up in Canada. So how did you get together with
Yeah.
these guys?
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, we connected through Facebook. One of those metal communities. Exactly. Yeah. It was like about 3 years ago that I wrote like a post that I'm a professional opera singer looking to be in a symphonic metal band again. I got a couple of responses, and Eric, messaged me as one of those people, and that's how we connected through Facebook.
I want to ask you about your opera background. Was your parents into opera? Where did that start? How'd you get into opera?
Yeah. So no one in my family is like artistic other than me. Not at all. My parents put me in a music school when I was a kid. Um, yeah, exactly. And at that time, we were still living in Russia. Yeah. And then when I was 12, my family moved to Canada, and I took like a little break from music. And then when I was 16, I think I was 16, I met through friends, people that are like, very into symphonic metal band and or symphonic metal, and then they later became my bandmates, my first symphonic metal band. Exactly. So they kind of got me into symphonic metal, and then I was very interested in exploring my voice more, and that made me take private lessons from a classical singer. And then she was the one that told me that, oh, like, you might have a good voice for opera. And so she kind of like started, teaching me, in a classical way. Exactly. And then she kind of inspired me to begin my university studies for opera. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into opera. Very not obvious way.
How did you end up in Germany?
Yeah. Yeah. So I did like my bachelor studies in opera in Edmonton, and then I went to Toronto to do my first master's in opera. And then after that, I went to Austria actually to do my second master's in opera. And then after that, I landed in Germany because I got a job as a singing teacher in a choir academy. So this is my main job at the moment. That's how I ended up in Germany.
Mm. What's your favorite opera of all time?
It is Madama Butterfly
Oh yeah.
by Puccini. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
just yeah,
Classic. Yep.
yes.
Let's talk about As Night Descends, the EP that came out in December. Now available on CD, by the way. Your music carries a strong, emotional, almost gothic atmosphere. What kind of stories or themes are you guys naturally drawn to when creating an EP like As Night Descends?
Yes. So Eric, our band leader and drummer, writes most of the music in the band. And he's not only a musician, but also is a author. He writes novels,
Mm.
and exactly, and he writes horror stories, horror novels. So I think, yeah, big part of the aesthetic comes from him. Exactly. Yeah. So the EP and the album that we're currently finishing recording is basically, yeah, a horror story. Exactly. So I guess this is what gives this gothic kind of feel and aesthetic to the music video, and also the music. Yeah, the music itself.
Mm. The album you said is almost finished. Do you have a release date yet this year?
No, we don't have a release date yet, but we hope to release it by the end of the year.
All right. All right. Stabat Mater Dolorosa. Such a powerful title, rooted in classical tradition. What made you want to reinterpret or channel that theme into metal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Stabat Mater Dolorosa, if you Google this title, there are so many works, by classical music composers that come up with that title, and it's a big iconic piece and theme in the classical music world. Um, we wanted to make a reference with religion, and that seemed like a perfect title because it's such a famous religious sacred work in classical music. Um, exactly. And the poem comes from like a middle age poetry, yeah, from the Catholic Church tradition, and the scene is Stabat Mater Dolorosa, and then I'm not sure. I can't remember now how the words go later on, but this scene from the poetry is about the Mother Mary standing at the cross, and weeping over Jesus Christ, and that was kind of the image that we wanted to take for our video, and kind of make a metaphor between, or a comparison between Mother Mary and the dark, female figure in our album. Yeah, and kind of like make that comparison, and yeah, who is a better, um, comparison and female figure in religion than the mother of Christ himself.
Mm. I want to go back to the upcoming album. It's called The Haunting of Scarlet Falls. That title alone sounds very back to the word cinematic. What can you tell us about the story of that title for the album?
Yeah. So yeah, again, as you mentioned yourself, it's pretty much a horror story, gothic, um, and yeah, the so the story of the album, just to tell our audience a little bit about, what the story is in the EP and in the album. It's kind of yeah, it's about an orphanage that's called Scarlet Falls, and this girl, her name is Aria Blake,
Mm.
hence the title of the band. She gets sent to this orphanage, and the orphanage has like ghosts in it, and children get like stolen by the ghosts. Yeah, and then there are, the supervisors are the nuns in this story, and one of them, I guess the principal nun, is Mater Dolorosa. So she's the character that comes up in the video, exactly, and the nurses are kind of like bystanders. They kind of help the ghosts to steal the children from the orphanage. So they feel very guilty and yet like powerless to do something to protect the children. And then this is why, for example, Mater Dolorosa goes on to sing the prayer, kind of to plead for her sins. But yeah, so this is kind of the narrative in the album. Yeah, kind of a very dark world of
Mm.
Scarlet Falls.
Aria Blake, the name of the band, is that a character in one of Eric's novels?
Exactly, yes. Actually, the Haunting of Scarlet Falls was supposed to be a novel by
Mm.
him, but he instead he chose to take the story and write an album about it instead of a novel.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you could perform one Aria Blake song in an unusual setting, like a cathedral, a forest, maybe an abandoned castle, where would it be for you?
Ooh. Well, what first comes to mind is I guess like an abandoned castle in a
Mm.
forest.
Yeah,
Because like, a perfect place for, a scary institution like Scarlet Falls.
nice. What's something that fans would be surprised to learn about you outside of music? What do you like to do?
Well, I must admit, I do have very, very little free time. I try to, be involved in many projects. Um, I can't say that I have like crazy hobbies. Yeah, I like to ski. I like to read. Um, I like to watch movies, even though, like I said, I don't get to watch a lot of them. Um, yeah, I don't have like crazy things that I do in life. I speak three languages.
I,
Maybe
I was going to
that's,
ask you. I figured you'd spoke multiple languages, being born in Russia and Germany and
yeah,
having to work with French guys, right?
yes, exactly, exactly.
Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
German, Russian, and French that you speak?
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
those three I speak fluently, and I speak a little bit of Italian and French, just because we had to learn it for the opera studies, because most operas
Right.
are in those languages. But yeah.
All right. So the album is coming out this year. The EP, by the way, first off, is out now on CD. It was released digitally in the fall as Night Descends. The album, The Haunting of Scarlet Falls, that is coming out before the end of the year. I know you have a show coming up May 1st, right?
Yes,
And that
yes.
is in France or Germany?
That is in France, in Nancy.
Okay. So there's that. Any other tour dates right now for the rest of the year?
So we're currently actively booking and like discussing the dates and all. There may be a show in the summer in Paris, but that's still in discussion, and hopefully more will come up before the year ends. Yeah.
All right. And aria-blake.com, you can get updates on new music and tour dates on the website. Follow them on social too. You can see a little video of Tanya listening to a song on the CD in a car she just posted today. She is Tanya from Aria Blake, a band that's not just making music, but building entire worlds through sound. Again, check out the EP As Night Descends and the stunning video for Stabat Mater Dolorosa. And keep your eyes open and ears open, too, for their upcoming album, The Haunting of Scarlet Falls. Tanya, thank you so much for joining me here on the Metal Queens podcast.
Thank you, Steve. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for the cool questions, for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe to the Metal Queens podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Richards. I will talk to you again next time.